Welcome back to Fright Flicks, your home for all things horror on the internet. I am your reviewer tonight. My name is Nate. You can get at me through social media, through Fright Flicks on Twitter or Facebook, or my personal handle is at NateFlix, with an X like Netflix, only cooler. Goodnight Mommy. Now, this is a movie from Austria that has been making a lot of waves the last few weeks with its absolutely bananas trailer. The trailer for Goodnight Mommy is easily one of the best horror previews I've seen in the last couple of years. You see this 2-minute long trailer, you are going to be hooked. This movie, yeah, it looks a little art house, but it's dark art house. It looks different. It looks like it could be something special. You've got these two creepy twin boys around 9 or 10 live out in the countryside with their mother who's just come back from major reconstructive surgery and her whole face is wrapped in bandages. The boys are convinced that she's somehow different and that it's maybe not really their mother. And maybe she isn't. Or maybe there's something off about the boys. Actually, there's definitely something off about the boys. That's what, generates the tension in the movie is maybe they're weird but right. Maybe they're just crazy. Maybe she's, I don't know, it could go a lot of different directions. Sounds great, right? And what the trailer promises and the movie absolutely delivers from start to finish is this is one of the best looking horror movies you're going to see this year. The visuals are absolutely outstanding. The locations, the use of darkness, it's the color palette. It all looks so good. Unfortunately, I have to be the bearer of bad news tonight. This is a movie that looks good. It isn't good, but it looks really good. It is, I will say, one of the best looking bad movies I've ever seen. But I gotta be honest, it is a bad movie. Everything I was saying about building tension based on the dynamic between the boys and the mommy, well, unfortunately, that tension dissipated for me about 7 or 8 minutes into the movie, where I figured it out. Now, admittedly, I'm a student of the game. I watch a lot of movies, I watch a lot of horror movies, I pay attention and analyze a lot of these movies. So I know what to look for, what sort of clues, to pay attention to in these kind of movies. So I am a hard one to trick, but this movie made it too easy, right off the bat. This movie made it so easy that my first response was, okay, I have it figured out, I know what's going on here. And then immediately I thought, wait a second, this movie is smarter than that. This is a red herring. It's feeding me this softball pitch, it's telegraphing its twist so strongly that it's just gonna sail it in right over the plate. I'm gonna knock it out of the park, and I think I have a home run, and then it's gonna twist it up on me. This first twist, this is just gonna lead to something deeper and darker, and I was absolutely wrong. That response was totally the wrong response, because there is no second layer to this movie. There is no second gear to this movie. Once you have that initial epiphany where you're like, oh, I know where this is going now, there are no more surprises, because you do know where it's going. And as I said, I watch this sort of shit a lot, so I know what I'm talking about. Even if you don't watch this sort of thing a lot, even if you don't watch a lot of horror or a lot of thrillers, I'd say you'll have this whole thing figured out in about 30 minutes, way before you're supposed to have it figured out, just because it's poorly written. There is no strength of character, because all the quote-unquote characters in the movie just represent some. So it's based more on their dynamic and how they interact, and it just gives it all away. But boy howdy does it look good. This movie is in German, so if you're lucky, you will see it in subtitles. If you're unlucky, you will hear it dubbed. If you are smart, though, take a piece of advice. If you see this trailer and you feel compelled to watch this movie, don't watch it dubbed. Don't watch it subtitled. Watch the original. Watch it in German, if you do not speak German. If you do speak German, disregard this piece of advice. If you don't speak German, you're going to be missing out on all this ham-fisted dialogue. If you don't speak German, maybe the twists and turns, and I use that as a plural when it's only singular, it's twist and turn, maybe it won't be so painfully obvious. Maybe you can make up your own narrative to go with the dazzling visuals that you see. It is an excellent looking movie. There is just nothing going on. So, yeah, play it smart. Enjoy what should be enjoyed from this movie, that aspect of it, and just throw everything else away. because if you don't know what they're saying, you're going to make up a story in your head that's going to be way better than the story that actually goes down in this movie. In the final analysis, we always rate everything here at Fright Flicks on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm going to give Goodnight Mommy a 3 out of 10. It was better than The Gallows. It wasn't quite as good as the remake of Poltergeist, which, for the record, wasn't good. Check out those reviews of Poltergeist, which is pretty good, review-wise, or The Gallows, which I think is funny because I hated that movie and I really vent my spleen. But Goodnight Mommy, feel free to skip it. My name is Nate. Get back at me. Send me a comment on this video or find me on social media at Frightflix on Twitter and Facebook. I'll be back at you very soon with reviews of more new movies, retro reviews of classics, and I've got a whole lot of TV reviews coming at you in the near future. Until then,